You'd never guess it from the giggles. But this might be Bluey's darkest episode. A heartbreak so quiet, it hides behind a smile and a pair of animal onesies. It holds a truth many adults know too well. Sometimes, the thing we want most is the one thing we can never have. At first, Anisis feels like a standard healer adventure. Costumes, chaos, a game-turned survival scenario with feral Bingo leading the charge. But even from the start, something's different. Brandy, Chili's sister, stands hesitating at the door. Her voice is peppy, but her eyes flicker with anxiety. She's brought gifts, adorable animal onesies for her nieces, but she fumbles on their sizes, on how much they've grown. It's been 4 years. That number lands heavy. 4 years since she last saw them. And we start to wonder, why? What could keep a loving aunt away from a family like this for so long? As the episode unfolds, so does the distance, not just in time, but in experience. Brandy watches the girls play, she laughs, she joins the games. But her face never fully relaxes. There's something she's not saying. And Bluey, in her typical innocent way, is the one who asks the question adults tiptoe around. Why have we only seen Auntie Brandy once in our lives? That's when the layers peel back. The heart of Onisis isn't about costumes or chaos. It's about longing, it's about absence, and it's about grief. The grief of an unlived life. Chili tells Bluey that Brandy wants something more than anything, but can't have it. There's no dramatic music, no heavy-handed explanation, just this gentle, devastating truth. It's not meant to be. For adult viewers, the meaning is unmistakable. Brandy is struggling with infertility. The signs are all there, the long absence, the difficulty in showing up, the forced smile when watching her nieces, the pain of feeling like an outsider in a world she desperately wants to be part of. Even in the middle of the cheetah chase chaos, there's something hilariously familiar. The aunt who brings gifts that accidentally spark a family meltdown. We've all been there. And when Bluey asks, why can't she just have the thing she wants? Our hearts break right alongside hers. Because there isn't a reason that satisfies that question. We often treat children's television like it's only meant to entertain. But Bluey has never been just for kids. Onesies holds a mirror to the quiet grief many adults carry, the unspoken losses, the dreams that didn't come true, the aching gap between the life we imagined and the one we live. Brandy doesn't wail or collapse. She smiles, she plays, she says, "It's all good." And that's what makes this episode so powerful. Because that's what real adult grief often looks like. It shows up at family events, it buys gifts, it laughs at jokes. But inside, it's holding something too tender to speak aloud. There's a scene near the end that slips past quickly, but says everything. Brandy lies on the grass, laughing as she's tackled by Bingo. As they look up, two clouds drift side by side, not merging, but moving in tandem. It's a quiet metaphor for their relationship. Two lives shaped by different circumstances, still finding moments to float together. There's healing in that kind of stillness. No fixing, no explaining, just the comfort of being beside someone who understands the parts of your story that don't get said out loud. For a moment, she's part of it all. She's in the fold, she's playful and present, and then Bingo runs off, and Brandy stays lying there, silent, still, staring up at the sky. It's the loneliest shot in the episode, because that's when the mask falls, the one she's worn since the doorstep, the one that says, "I'm fine, this is fun, I'm okay." She isn't, and Bluey, the show, gives her the space to not be okay, without fixing it, without rushing past it, just witnessing it. That's rare in children's media, and honestly, it's rare in adult life too. There's a particular kind of isolation that comes from feeling like the only one who doesn't get the happy ending. Brandy isn't angry. She's not bitter. She's tired of pretending that being around kids doesn't hurt. Tired of showing up to a life that reminds her of the one she wanted. Tired of stuffing down the sorrow just to be okay for everyone else. But this episode doesn't leave her in that sadness. It does something quietly revolutionary. It includes her. By the end, Chili, who knows her sister's pain, doesn't try to fix it. She doesn't offer advice or empty comfort. She just dances with her. The same dance they made as little girls. The same moves their bodies remember. The same rhythm their mother once watched with joy. It's more than nostalgia. It's connection. It's a way of saying you belong, even in your sadness, especially in your sadness. Let's talk about those onesies. They're not just silly outfits, they're symbols. Each girl wants the one that doesn't fit. Bluey wants to be a cheetah, fast, fierce, free, but it's too small. Bingo becomes wild and untamed in hers, overtaken by instinct, playing the predator. And Brandy? Brandy is the one who brought them, who chose based on who her nieces used to be, who missed 4 years of change, who hoped the costumes would bring joy, and instead, they stirred chaos. The metaphor writes itself. She tried to participate, to give something meaningful, but she's out of sync, not by choice, but by time, by pain, by circumstance. And the episode whispers a devastating truth. Sometimes, no matter how much you want something, it just doesn't fit. Near the end, Brandy apologizes. "I'm sorry it's been so long." Chili, lying beside her, doesn't push. She just says, "I know." Because she does. She knows how hard it was for her sister to come. She knows what it cost. She knows the love underneath the absence and the ache that kept her away. In just a few words, the episode gives us something rare: grace. It's not about blame. It's not about guilt. It's about understanding that sometimes people stay away because being close hurts more. So what does this episode teach us? First, it teaches compassion. You never know what silent sorrow someone is carrying, even when they're smiling, even when they bring presents, even when they say, "It's all good." Second, it teaches presence. Brandy doesn't need fixing. She needs witnessing. She needs someone to meet her where she is, not with solutions, but with love. And third, it teaches patience. Some hurts don't heal on demand. Some dreams don't find new replacements. But connection, real, messy, heartfelt connection, can still exist inside the sadness. That's the gift Chili offers, not a cure, but company. If you've ever grieved something quietly, a child you never had, a relationship that never became, a life you imagined that didn't unfold, Onesies sees you. It doesn't tell you to move on. It doesn't offer false hope. It says, you're still part of the dance. Even if you've missed a few steps, even if your costume doesn't quite fit, even if you show up carrying something invisible, you belong. You're allowed to grieve and giggle in the same breath, to laugh with your nieces, to cry in your sister's arms, to lie on the grass and look at the sky and not say a word. And maybe, if you're lucky, someone will take your hand and remind you of a dance you used to know. Because the onesie might not fit, but love still does. And that's maybe the truest gift of this episode, the way it expands our definition of family. Not just the people who show up every day, but the ones who show up in spite of pain. The ones who come back even when it's hard, even when the world they're stepping into reminds them of what they've lost. Brandy doesn't have the life she imagined, but in this moment, dancing with her sister, laughing with her nieces, she has a place. It's not the one she dreamed of, but it's real, and it matters. So if you know someone who's pulled away, not because they don't care, but because it hurts too much to be close. Reach gently. Let them know they're welcome, even in their silence. And if you're the one who's been distant, it's okay. You haven't missed your chance to belong. There's still time to show up, even imperfectly, even just for one dance. Because being part of a family doesn't require perfection, only presence. Did this episode hit you differently now that you know what it's really about? Let us know in the comments. And if Onizi's helped you feel a little more seen, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need it.